Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to Tiafo Garage. Today I'm going to do a little repair on my 308 GT4. It has pop-up headlights, but the left side doesn't go up as much as the right side. It also does not sit as flush as the right side. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if I can make some adjustments to it or get it sitting correctly. Never mess with these, so I don't know how to do it, and I've heard they can be quite tricky.
Tiafo Garage.
The not seating correctly issue is a little more difficult to see when it's resting. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get a proper angle, but I'm going to try. But this should essentially be flush with the hood line, and it's really not. It's raised up here. It's a little higher here as we get towards the end there. And yeah, it slopes down here. So there's something going on. It's not sitting correctly as it should. It's really close, but it's definitely not correct. It's not perfect. And nothing bugs me more than when these lights look a little off and a little janky. So I'm going to see if there's something I can do to fix this. Meanwhile, there's Hopper, Garage Dog. What you looking at? Hi. I'm going to pop the headlights now. What we're looking at is the right side, which should look correct. And what I want you to take notice of is the amount of space. You can see the entire bottom of the lights. Oh, you've got some space there. If I slide over here to the left side, you see there's a big difference. The bottom of the light is cut off here, so it's not getting all the way up like the right side is. We're going to pop the bonnet. This is just done by pulling this lever there, and that pops the bonnet a bit. And we'll just lift that up. There we go. That cylinder looking thing right there with the black knob on top is the emergency light lifting system. So there's one on each side, and it allows you to lift the lights in the event that they're not working properly. You just simply turn the knob and it'll raise or lower the light as needed. I'm hoping in this case we'll just be able to make a simple turn, and that'll make the adjustment so the light will sit correctly. If not, we'll need to dive a little deeper. This screw here adjusts the height of the light when it's up. So as you can see, this is stopped by this screw whenever it hits it. You want to disconnect the battery when you're working on this, otherwise you might lose your fingers. Not really something you want to have happen. So what I did, I removed the battery. This is where it goes. And I connected these jumper cables to the leads in the car. And then I left the battery down here on the ground, and I would connect the other end of the jumper cables to the battery whenever I needed to do some testing. When I turn this, as I turn it clockwise, there you go, you can see the light raises. Yeah, not what we want, of course. So I am turning it counterclockwise now to put it back down. I'm hoping that this will get it where I want it. Okay, it's still a little bit up there. It is looking better, but not perfect yet. So I'm going to go down a little bit more. I think that's as far down as it goes, actually. This is your standard 10 millimeter metric. So let's just, wow, how that slipped. Okay, I think that does it pretty good. So you see I've got some clearance now. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's not adjusting the way I thought it would. I see another screw back here too. I'm curious what that screw does. Okay, it doesn't matter how tight those are, this still is loose as fuck. So why is that? Not gonna lie, that was a lot more difficult than it should have been. There was a little knob you're supposed to turn that would help lower it and raise it, and it did. Unfortunately, it didn't do it to the extent I needed it to do it. So I had to dig a little deeper, and I did find there was a loose screw underneath. I had to go to the hardware store and pick up a really cool little set of wrenches. I'll show you those in just a second. I did get it, and it was a lot more than just that that one screw. So let me show you everything it was. Initially, it's supposed to be as simple as just turning this to the left or to the right to lower or raise it. And that does work, but it only makes minor adjustments. It doesn't do it to the extent that I needed. So there was something else going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my camera down here, but I'm certainly going to try. Right here where my finger is pointing, the opposite side of this is a bolt that was loose, and thus it was shaking and it was sitting low. I had to tighten that other bolt up, but at the same time I also had to push the light up so it would tighten in the position it's supposed to be in. Likewise, there's also this screw here that tells the light where to rest when it's down, and of course this top screw here tells it where to rest when it's up. So those are the different screws we're dealing with here. And there was also a 10 millimeter screw, which we can see right there, or nut, I should say. And that was fairly loose itself as well. So I ended up having to push the light up in position and tighten all those screws individually. So it did take a minute. It did take a lot of effort, and unfortunately I couldn't really film it, so that's why I'm showing it to you now, because it's just me here and I didn't have anyone to help out. This, I found it at Harbor Freight, is a great little set, what they call stubby ratcheting combo wrench set. And it has the one I needed, of course. It has the 18 millimeter. It's kind of blurry. You'll see it is rather short, and if you compare it to like a standard size wrench, you can see the great difference in size. So this ended up being the perfect tool to get under where I needed to get in order to tighten up that bolt. To reach that one bolt, I had to get under the car here. So here we are. This is the front, this is the left-hand side, of course, going under the car. And I had to get my hand through this hole here. So it was very limited space. And then I had to be able to reach that bolt right there that you see kind of in the middle of the screen right now. And there it is. So that gives me plenty of room to reach my hand up there and be able to turn that wrench. Let's see if I can do this. So yeah, you can see I can get my hand in there and actually be able to move it up and down. I'm not going to move it now because I've got it adjusted correctly. But yeah, it really worked quite well. And then I can pull it back out like so. And we're good. Now I'm going to put the battery in so I can close the hood completely and make sure it really does align the way I want it to. It looks like it will, so I don't anticipate any problems. That is the left light, looking pretty much exactly the way I wanted it to, and compared to the right light. Yeah, as we see, it doesn't sit over the top anymore like it used to. It was a little too big. It wasn't aligned properly. Nice and smooth. Let's pop them up really quick. There we go. Got the headlights up. And you'll see now, looks pretty even. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Something else I wanted to point out, if you'll remember in my last video, I talked about build numbers, and mine was 274, and that various parts in the car will have it almost everywhere. If you'll look closely, it's going to be hard to see, but you can see 274 right there. This is on the back, and it'll be on each headlamp there, on each side. Yes, that is upside down. That's the way they printed them. I think Series 1 had cars, which is what mine is. 74 and 75 were Series 1. But then you reach 1976 to 1980, which are Series 2 cars, and they will have the numbers printed right side up. Well, that was another successful repair. I'm sorry I couldn't get it all filmed, but I didn't really anticipate having as much trouble with it as I did. I thought it would be a simple turn of that screw. This would be a short video and we'd be done. Turned out it was a turn of a lot of screws. Some were in very tight places, very hard to reach. And it did take me a couple of days because I had to go buy some those new stubby tools at Harbor Freight. I think they were like $28, something like that, for that whole set. I didn't have to take it to a mechanic and pay several $100s to get those adjusted. And it looks great. I'm very happy with it. That's it. Thank you for joining us here on Tiafo Garage. See you next time.